Hi all, Cynthia here from NB Pretty Papers, back with this art journal. So I did put this art journal page up a few weeks ago. I created it for the Crafty Maven Getaway channel using the software that I had been using for the last couple of years since I started doing my videos, which was Movie Maker. But the quality was atrocious, and I didn't realise it until after I loaded it and a day or so later when I look back. So since then I've realised that with the recent update of my computer, Microsoft Movie Maker was no longer being supported and it was just not watchable. So since then I've gone off and I've found a new software, and I've had to learn how to use it, and I've had to learn how to do voiceovers in a different software and then combine them all together. But anyway, here I am now, second video down with this new software program, so hopefully it's getting easier each time. I still need to improve the process a little bit. But if you did happen to watch the first one, you will hopefully realise that this one is a whole lot better quality. I will definitely put this one up again. I'm just going to delete the original one and reload this. Not so much because I want it or expect people to watch it again. I'm sure no one will probably watch it, but just for me, so my record, one of the reasons I put some of the pages up that I do is I keep track of the pages that I've done and the things that I do. It's as good a place as any to have them as a second backup, I guess. Now, what have I done? So this month on the Crafty Maven Getaway channel is focus on a cut file. I don't have a cut file machine or a machine that creates cut files, but I do receive a cut file each month as a part of my kit. Part of my kit from the Wild Hair Kits. So I do use that down the track. I haven't actually added the inspiration piece this time around. I forgot to do that in the process of figuring out how to use this software. But the inspiration piece had lots of yellows, or there was a flower in it that had yellows and red, oranges, and that's where I'm pulling the colours for the background. But it also had some green, and initially I was thinking about the green that I was using was the same as that, but my green's a bit different. But anyway, the inspiration was there. My cut file that I'm going to be using when I bring it in a little bit later is a hexagon shape. So what I've got here is I pulled out a stencil from my stash which has like small little hexagons on it. I've ran that through some modelling paste through that, and I've dried it off. And now I've just taken some of these sprays and going to create a little bit of a messy background. The yellow spray there, it no longer has the original Heidi Swap colour in it. That ran out, and I've just added some acrylic paint mixed with some water. I think it's a little bit thick, but I shall try to thin it down a little bit and just see how it goes, whether it's going to work for me. If not, I'll just toss it in the bin. And so I've finished with the sprays, going to bring in a different texture and a feel here. And I've grabbed out the gelatos in a couple of different colours, a red, an orange, a yellow, and also it's a goldy mustard colour. And I just cover all the background. Just filling in some spots, making sure the colours are sort of spread out evenly. I'm not liking the way that is coming together. Now what do? Grab out this stencil here. So this is a stencil from Kaiser Craft, I believe it is. And I'm going to grab the Distress Oxide ink and just put some black through it. So this is black soot, is that what it's called? Yes. So going to dab some of that through the stencils just to once again build up the texture and interest in the background. Love this stencil. I love the way this looks on this background. It's the first time I've used the stencil, and I think I'll be grabbing for it again a few times. It did take me a while to figure out what was the right way around, whether it was upside down, back to front. It was a bit hard to figure that out, but I've got there. So I've just grabbed the modelling paste again, and I'm going to add some Heidi Swap to the modelling paste, and it's a little bit lighter than I was visualising. So I do grab my the stencil out here in a minute, which is the cut file. So this is how I've used the cut file. This is the cut file that I received in my October kit from the Wild Hair Kits, as I said, and I've just masked off the bits that I don't want to. I've cut it down to make it the shape that I want it, masked off the bits that I didn't want to use, and I'm now going to run this paste through it. And I really like the way that's looking, and I come back in later and you'll see that coming up, and I actually take my mask off the cut file and I use the cut file directly as well. Pull it off, realise the colour's not quite as vibrant as I like, so I put that back on, and I'm going to just spray some of the green directly on top, and it gives it that little bit more of a vibrance that I was looking for. So I don't know whether I really needed to mix it in. That probably would have helped. I wonder whether I could have just put white modelling paste down and then sprayed directly on top of it. Maybe. But anyway, that's not what I did, and I repeat the process until I get enough. And there we go, putting that down. See, now if I had my other software that I used to be working, I probably would have just put a little bit of music on through this bit, because there's only so much I can talk about. But I'm not an expert enough at this program, so I'm just going to have to waffle on, and you can either put me on mute or listen on through. So this is the cut file. I took off as I said, the masking tape that I had on there, and it's all dry, and now I'm going to cut it up and use it as some bits and pieces around the page. I really like the way this is looking. I think the way it's got some of the green on it but still a little bit white, just adds another texture, another element, but actually at the same time is keeping that theme going throughout the page. Using matte gel medium here to glue all these down, and also help create a bit of a seal to the page, because I will come back in once this is semi-dry. Should have been dry, but let's just say semi-dry, and do some shading around the shapes. And putting that last one down, liking the way that's looking. This is where I'm just going around the shapes to be able to seal it off a little bit, so I can put my markers down and then smudge them around a bit. Just making sure all that's down, all covered up nicely. I have cut out all the drying time. I do get the heat gun out and try to dry off as much as I can. You can see there on the right hand page it's still looking a little bit wet, but I'm going to start my shading anyway. So I've got a couple of different colours out there. I wasn't too sure which colour I was going to use. There you go. Looks like I've repeated that little bit of footage there. Yes, because I've tried to speed this bit up a little bit more, so you don't have to watch me through the whole lot. This is still a little bit wet on this side, so I'm trying to gently go around it. But I found a shade of green that I like, and I'm just going to Go around all those, helps add a little bit of depth and texture to the page as well. And now I've pulled out a black Posca pen and I'm going to go around some of the small little hexagons, cover some of them in, some, as you can see, well, I think you can see, hopefully you can see, I'm going for a little bit of it. To me, it's got a sciencey feel to it. So I'm putting all these little markings off the side of what to represent science. You kind of see this in some of the science drawings. If you was a scientist and knew what it represented, you would say, oh, it's nowhere near, doesn't look anything like it, but the intent's there. I do the same with the white Posca pen. You'll see that in a minute. I bring that in and do the same with the white Posca pen. Just go over some of them, add some highlights. How has everyone been? You all been well? Have you all managing to get some scrapping, also art journaling done? Did you watch my first video, first take of this, and are you still watching this one? What do you think of the quality? Is it okay? And how's the voice sounding? I don't have the greatest microphone, but I'm hoping that, it's okay. It does the job. I definitely think I will look at getting a microphone at some point. I do have one, but my computer doesn't recognise it. It still wants to use the computer mic. So that's all I use, just the computer mic at this stage. This is where I've grabbed the white Posca pen. I initially grabbed the small one and went all over it, but I didn't think it stood out enough. So I'm going back over and just adding some more highlights, connecting everything up. And as I said, going in and doing those little doodles around the page. And I just love the white on top of this page. Once again, it just sort of makes it lighter and brighter. And I come back in a moment with some gesso and I water it down and add some white splashes to the page as well. So I've grabbed out the red Posca pen here, and it was the first time I've used it, so I just had to make it work. And to do that, you just push the nib down into the barrel until the paint comes down into the nib. I'm going to go around and add some shading to give the page a little bit of a border, and then I'm going to grab the black Posca pen and do the same. Just to right on the tip, add a little bit of a border, and as I go around, I quite like a little bit thicker, so add a little bit thicker border than what I started with in the black. I think it just frames the page nicely. Of course, there is black on the background. It really blends in well. You see, I've added my quote, just got some little tile stickers there from my stash, and just said eventually everything connects, and adding the splashes, and I am all done. What am I doing? I'm just adding some colour to the tiles there so they sort of blend in a little bit. I grab out the black pen, go around and sort of add some scribbly marks around them, help them stand out a little bit more, and that's it. Just a couple of close-up photos at the end, and I'm all done. Here we are. As always, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the process. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, let me know what you think of the page and the quality. Until next time, everyone have a lovely day, a lovely week, or a lovely month, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.